Hi, many PDIs and ADIs use scaling in lessons, which on the face of it is great, but they often use it in the wrong way and don't get the value from it that they should. Here's a short extract from Colin's Part 3 Zoom training session to help you understand how to use scaling effectively. If you want to watch his full Zoom training session, which helped him to achieve a grade A pass, it's super easy. Just click on the link in the description or first comment below. No payment info needed, just your name and email. As always, if you like my content, please take just a few seconds to hit those like and subscribe buttons. It costs you nothing, but massively helps me to record more helpful content for you. Let's jump into the video now.
The other thing I was quickly going to ask you was scaling. Would you introduce that at the beginning and end? Just ask them on a 1 to 10 or a gold, silver, bronze or whatever, you know?
Yeah, so in terms of scaling, if you're going to use it, you need to use it multiple times. Don't just use it. I mean, at a bare minimum, use it at the beginning and the end, but it's better to use it multiple times. So let's take this concept that you're going to break your lesson down into maybe 3 little chunks. Yeah, even on a part 3. You've got 5 minutes at the beginning, then you do 10 minutes of practice. So that's 15 minutes, 5-minute chat, 20 minutes, another 10-minute driving, 30 minutes, another 5-minute of chat, 35 minutes, and then maybe 5-minute drive, back to the test center, something like that. So the best way to use scaling, it doesn't matter whether you're 1 to 10, gold, silver, bronze, green, amber, red, happy emoji, sad emoji, that's sort of irrelevant really. But you need to use it multiple times to be able to assess what's going on again in the student's head. So you might start off with a lesson saying, so as it currently stands, thinking about doing what we're about to do, without actually doing it, where would you put yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your confidence, for example? And I go, 3. Right, okay. So why a 3? Why not a higher number, or why not a lower number? Oh, and again, it's just a starting point for a stimulating conversation. So, oh, well, it's not higher because of this and because of that, and I'm not sure about that. Okay, so if I could help you get better at this and that other thing, do you feel like that score might move up? Yeah, probably would. Cool. Well, let's not worry about where it's going to move up to. Let's just see if we can get it moving up. It might not. And if it doesn't, we'll figure out why. So I'll tell you what, let's go and put some practice in. This is how I'm going to help you. We'll do a little bit of practice and then we'll pull over and then let's check in with each other and let's see where that score is then. So you do about 10 minutes worth of practice, then you pull over and then you go, right, okay. So given that practice, given that level of support that I was giving you, what have you learned? How are you feeling now? Oh yeah, I've learned this and I've learned that. I'm feeling better. Cool. So let's come back to that score then. So you started off by giving yourself a score of 3. Totally understandable. So from your point of view, where do you feel like that scores now? Probably a 6. Great. Fantastic. So if we carry on working on the same things then, and you keep putting those things into practice, you think it will stay at a 6? Yeah, I do. Would you like it to be higher? by the end of the next little burst of practice that we do, yeah, I would. Ideally, where would you like it to be? I don't know, maybe an 8 or a 9. Cool. Is there anything that you can think of specifically that I can help you with that's going to help you to get to that 8 or 9? Well, yeah, I think if maybe you just gave me a little bit less support, or allow me to do it a bit more by myself. Yeah, I think that might help. Right, okay, well, let's go with that then, and let's see what happens. Again, don't worry if we don't get there. That's not the point of the exercise. Let's just go and work together. Let's put a little burst of practice in. Let's see what happens and whether that makes a positive difference or not. Then you put that little burst of practice in, then you pull over again and go, right, okay, so where are we now then? Yeah, we started off at 3, then you felt you went up to a 6. You wanted to achieve an 8 or a 9. What do you reckon? Are we there or not? And again, it doesn't really matter what they come back with, because if they come back with, yeah, we are, great. Okay, fantastic. What's made a difference?
Mhm.
If they come back with no, no, I'm still not there. Okay, totally get that. Why?
Mhm.
Why didn't we quite achieve what you felt you wanted to achieve? Oh, well, I think I just need some more practice. Okay. Well, I tell you what then, why don't we carry on working on this next week when we have our regular lesson, and let's see if we can get you to where you want to get to with that score. So don't feel like, when you've got an examiner sat behind you, if the student doesn't come back and be completely positive about the whole lesson experience, you've done a bad job. Yeah,
Mhm.
because you may well not have done a bad job. You may have done an excellent job. It's just on that particular session, the student hasn't quite managed to hit the mark that they wanted to hit. But you've worked very strongly towards it, and you've made a huge amount of progress. So from an examiner's point of view, that's a job well done.
Mhm. You're just using the scaling to sort of broach that question. Why? Why have you understood it, or why have you not understood it? And then take it from there as to where your direction's going after that.
Scaling is just another way of starting a conversation.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And but starting it from a specific point, again, it's all about specifics.
Yeah.
It's right, okay, so you've put yourself on that scale. Why there? Why not higher? Why not lower? You're stimulating their thinking. They have to go inside their heads and go, oh, well, because of this or because of that. That's the information as an instructor you need. Because unless you get that, it's hard for you to know quite where to go next. If somebody just comes back and says, oh, I'm a 5, and you go, right, okay, so what would you like to be at the end of the lesson? A 7. All right, well, let's go off and practice then, and let's see if we can get you there. You've got no idea how you're going to help them,
Yeah.
other than just hoping and praying that through getting out and doing some more practice and doing some more driving, miraculously, they're going to feel like they've moved up to a 7.
Mhm.
It's so unfocused, it's so general, it's so much guesswork. You may get there by fluke, but you have no real idea as to what you've done to help them get there.
No, that's right. And how can you set your plan for moving forward if you don't know how you got there in the first place?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. That made it a lot clearer. I think I understand it a lot better now.
Good.
Okay, hope you found this short video helpful. If you did, again, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, post your comments if you have any questions about scaling, and check out my PDI/ADI training video library, which gives you unlimited access to many, many more videos like this. Cheers, thanks for watching, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.